Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today, pretty excited about this one. Have a father-son combo, Pat and Connor Combs, great men doing great things. And first, I just want to say thanks again, guys, so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, Chip.
Yes,
yeah, my pleasure, Chip. It's great to be with you.
Yes, sir. Well, let's dive into it. If you guys want to, just tell the audience a little bit about yourself. I know off air we talked about, your stories and kind of, what it is you do. But if you don't mind, kind of share a little bit of that with the audience so they have an idea of who you are and what it is you do.
Yeah, I'll lead it off. So born and raised in the good state of Texas, the great state of Texas, I should say. Spent most of my childhood between Houston and then Dallas, and loved sports growing up, played baseball, football, basketball, even played some hockey, and then was also infatuated with business and money. And Dad can attest, from a young age I was buying stuff off eBay and selling it and trying to figure out how we could how we could grow a business. And so those were two passions of mine growing up. I ended up playing football and baseball through high school, and then had an opportunity to play college baseball at a small school in East Texas Baptist University. And so I played all 4 years out there, finished my undergrad in 3 years, and then knocked out my MBA in my fourth year. And so beyond college, I felt like I'd put myself in a good position to continue playing ball. That was always the goal and the dream. In 2017, it did not become reality. So I was not chosen in the amateur draft. And so in August of that year, at 22, I went ahead and took my Series 66 to become a licensed financial advisor at a registered investment advisory firm, and worked at that firm for 3.5 years, learned a ton. And at 25, Dad came knocking and said, "Hey, I think it's about time we launch our own firm. What do you think?" And so 13 months ago, we launched Combs Capital Partners, and grace of God has been all over it. We've doubled our business in a year, and God just keeps putting awesome people in front of us. So
isn't it amazing how when you just strive to take one step to do things the right way, how the big man just sees fit to put you in the right place to receive so many of those blessings that you never thought would even come your way?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what, for me, that's what it has been like with the Success Chronicles. I just wanted to highlight some of those great people that I've been blessed to be around. And man, little did I know that author, so many things, connect with so many great people to learn from. And it's always cool when you do that. I think it becomes, contagious and infectious, right? Because you got to have more of that, more of the good stuff. Well, right. Pat, tell us about you and your story.
Yeah, well, thank you, Chip. I'll just add couple brief things about Connor's story. He won't tell you this, but he graduated with his MBA in 4 years. Just really put his head down to his studies, and we always talked as a family. If you're going to be an athlete, leverage your athletic talents to get to a great school and use that in a way that you can get a great education. My wife and I always talked about how important that was to us and to them and their futures. And so Connor did that in 4 years. He became one of the most decorated collegiate athletes in the history of of the NCAA, earned 41 awards. He was Academic All-American of the Year 2 years in a row.
Wow.
And just speaks to his, just commitment to his education as well as to his sport. And, we really thought he was going to get that call for pro baseball, but God had other plans, and that was okay with him. We had our moments of joy and moments of tears, kind of thinking through this was the end of his athletic career, but really how cool it was that he was redirected towards his career choice and financial management. So we're grateful for that. He also married way over his skis. He married former Miss USA from 2018. So Sarah Rose is our first daughter-in-law, and we remind him daily how fortunate he is. So
that's good stuff.
Yeah, but Chip, it's great, man, to be with you. And I agree with you, man. You think about, there's an old proverb, as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. And I was overjoyed when I got your call to think that I could be used in this way to help others as I seek to be helped. Yes. Daily. How do we sharpen each other up as men and as leaders? And so, I'll just take you back real quickly. My story was also focused around baseball growing up, and had the great chance to play at Rice University, then to Baylor. And at Baylor became an All-American and academic All-American, and had a chance to play on the USA team back in '88. We became the first Olympic baseball team to win the gold for the U.S. in Seoul that year. And I started my pro career in '89 and just happened to be drafted by the right team at the right time, the Philadelphia Phillies. They were rebuilding. I got to the big leagues very quickly. I was the first player in Major League history to go AA, AAA to the big leagues in 1 year. And then Andrew Jones did it a few seasons later for the Atlanta Braves. So we were the only two guys that did that in our first draft year. So it was a blessing to be in that spot. And again, I was prepared because I had some great coaches, great college coaches. My college pitching coach, Sid Hudson, had played professionally, had coached professionally. And man, I just soaked it in. Man, he taught me so much about not only how to be a great ball player, but how to be a man and to make good decisions, and to protect my career by making better choices behaviorally. And so that really, I think, helped me to get to the big leagues very quickly. That the stage was set. And then had a short career in baseball of 8 seasons, but was able to play a few years in the big leagues, and came back at the ripe old age of 30 to be a full-time dad and father. And it was the right time. Wish I could have played a little longer, but then looking back, I see what God was doing, just bringing me home to be a husband to Christina and a dad to Carson, Connor, and Casey. And so it was a good transition for me. I'd prepared to have life in business after baseball. And so I immediately went into wealth management, and then did some ministry work for a couple of years. Also done a lot of leadership development work with a group called Teamalytics, and then back to wealth management after 13 years with Morgan Stanley. And Connor and I had a chance to partner up. I actually sent him to Houston to work with my former partner out of Morgan. And Connor worked 3 years under his tutelage. And then he called me one day and said, hey, he's ready. You guys are ready to launch your own deal. So Combs Capital became a reality October of last year, and it's just been a blessing.
That is awesome. I think it's so amazing to first have the example as a father to see what it's like, but then when you can work together as, father and son to do business and doing it the right way, and to be a blessing to others, can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. Thank you, Chip. That's been our goal from the start. We're called to be stewards, right? We don't get to take anything with us when we're gone. And how do we steward what God has given us in terms of gifts and talents and resources? And then how do we help other families maximize what they've been blessed with? And so in that way, it's just been a huge blessing for Connor and I. And, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I had a chance to work with some really great people in this business. They taught me how to do the business right, how to be competent, how to do things with excellence, but then also incorporate the love for people. How do you blend those two things with excellence? How do you love people well? How do you help them steward the resources that they've been entrusted? And so, in that way, Chip, it's just been awesome. It's been a great experience. And look, I'm kind of getting towards, I wouldn't say the end of my career, but definitely past the middle. And I get a chance now to have to mentor my son, because we've had the great blessing in my case to work with a lot of really cool families, and a lot of the people I work with are crossing that midway point, getting towards the end of their career, and they're asking those same questions. What about my kids? How can I make sure my kids are running the right software, and that they're going to honor God with what they've been given? And so having Connor come into the business, I've been able to really, Chip, just give him those relationships, and he has stewarded those things so well. Our clients who he works with their children now, I mean, the kids are so grateful that they have somebody to lean into for advice. So it's really been super cool to see how this has all worked out.
You said the magic R word there, relationships. And I want to share this quote with you from one of my former pastors. And my second book, I start that book with this quote. And the quote is, "Our life moves at the speed of our relationships." And I mean, and you like what you just said is that's it, and that's Pastor Danny Green. He was one of my former pastors, but man, it just, like, when I heard him say that, it's so true. Those people that are doing great things in life have great relatives. That'll preach.
Yeah,
come on, Chip.
That'll preach, brother. That's the truth right there.
Come on. And those people that don't, it's not doing great things. They need some better relationships in their life. And that's what it's all about, doing that. And so the next thing I want to hit on is, just hearing you guys talk about your stories, your journeys, the blessings that you've been blessed with. I would consider all of that to be hugely successful. So let's hit on success. What is your definitions of success?
Yeah, I'll go first again. We talk in our business about building purpose statements. And so I have a life purpose statement per se, and it's pretty simple. It just goes, I want to live and die, go to heaven, and bring as many people as I can with me. And so as a result, I can filter most of the things that I do or pursue through whether or not it helps me accomplish that person. So success in this life looks like serving and loving people in a manner that provokes a curiosity about what it is that I'm chasing. And at its core, that's Jesus. And so that's how I define success.
Man, your dad said, "Want to go there to preach? I'm gonna do you one better, man." I, where I grew up in church, man, you might get the guy to look at the pocket square and take it out and throw it at you. Come on, and like look at it, like look at you, then look at it again. So I had to hit you with that one, Connor. That was good, man. It gave me chills on that. That's good stuff. Well, Pat, what about you? What's your definition of success?
Oh man, well, you're looking at him. He's right there in that bottom square.
Let's go.
Oh, brother, I tell you, to me, it really is, Chip. It's it goes back to the relationships. I think that the definition of success to me is what God has entrusted to us in terms of gifts and talents and resources, and how are we using those? And if we're using those for selfish means, even if you become the wealthiest man on earth, I just don't think that's a good definition of success. I think it's got to be wrapped around the people that we get to serve, the people that we get to pour into, and the quality to me of life is going to be measured by those relationships at the end of our days. And that to me is the definition of success, when we have so poured ourselves out that we have been able to influence others and help others succeed, and teach them how to do it the right way. To me, that's the greatest definition of success.
That's awesome. So good. Well, before we get off, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about the book. I also want to give you an opportunity, talk about your company and where people can, go check you out and, go show you some love.
Oh man, thank you, Chip.
Yes, sir.
Well, I've been coaching for, I think, Connor, since I got done playing ball, really. I mean, I got done playing ball, and my last season was 1996, and I immediately turned to coaching my sons. And like Connor said, various sports, but mainly I was focused on baseball. And I love coaching football as well, Chips. We share that. But, a lot of parents over the years just ask, hey, you and Christina have really done well with raising your boys and keeping the focus on the right things and not getting overwhelmed with all the select ball and club sports and things. And, how have you done that? And I just started writing notes and keeping tabs of the things that we did that worked well and some of the mistakes that we made that I wanted to help other parents avoid. So I wrote them down, and a friend of mine says, man, you need to put that in a book. And he challenged me a couple of years ago. And then when COVID hit, I had a little chance to kind of write, had some time. So we wrote, it's called More Than the Score. And it's really written to parents to help them, and coaches, how do we help cultivate virtue in youth athletes? And whether it's our kids, whether it's the kids that we've been entrusted to coach. But a lot of stories about raising these guys. And, Connor is in the book as well. And we talk about some of the great things that he was able to accomplish. But we also talk about kind of the kicks in the gut, the days that weren't so good. And how do we help our kids work through adversity? And so he had I'll kind of let him finish this story. But, his story was marked with some great success. But then at the end, when we were really praying through, what does baseball look like for you going beyond college? And then to kind of have that kick in the gut moment when it didn't happen, but then watching how my son worked through adversity, and you celebrate that because it's coming, Chip. And, how do we watch our kids go through tough times and manage that process? And what do? Do they turn to drugs? Do they turn to alcohol? Do they turn to other things to try to solve that hole that gets created, right? Or do they turn to God and they walk through that with a God who loves them, who cares for them, who wants what's best for them, and to see him do that successfully? I get emotional thinking about it just because, as a parent on the other side, you go, man, you work all these years to train your kids up right, and you try to teach them the right character values, the right virtues. But then that moment's going to get tested, Chip, and how do they handle it when they walk through it?
I can't hold your hand. You got to go apply it. Yes, as you were saying, and I'm reflecting on, my relationship with my son, and the same thing. Now he's in high school, and it's the same thing, and I tell him, Mom and Daddy can't hold your hand, like those. We're gonna give you these skills. Now I trust you enough to go do your thing, and the good thing is we're here to support you, if it doesn't go that way. So, hey, go make some mistakes, like go get after it. And that's beautiful.
We turn them over, the world can get them. But man, when we set the foundation right, Chip, we give them a much greater chance to succeed. Work through that. So I'll let Connor finish that story.
Well, I mean, it's really is the grace of God. That's what it comes back down to. Yeah. And I think just a few of the things that Mom and Dad had instilled in all three of us were times of uncertainty and adversity create opportunities for faith to be revealed. And when you look at things through the lens of just that, it's an opportunity to share about what it is you say you believe in. And so when you don't panic, when you're consistent with how you're working and how you're living, and nothing seems to faze you, then again, it provokes that curiosity about, well, what's different, what's going on. And so, but it comes down to, I think, three things for me. And it comes down to having a humble heart, and that fixates, or it fixes my perspective on the right things. Great community, going back to relationships. If you just can't do it alone. And I've been blessed so much, just obviously by my parents, but then the relationships that I have, that God's put in my life. And that's been, you can't put a value on it, from an accountability standpoint to the opportunities that have been presented because of relationships, to just having space for vulnerability in life. And then I think the last thing is just a commitment to being excellent and being great. And I think that's what God's called us to be. And so whatever your hands find themselves doing, do it with all your might, as if you're working for the Lord. And so that's how I would just sum it up. And I'm just so lucky and blessed, and appreciate your time, Chip, and having us on.
Just hearing you talk about that and breaking that down, I really just have one word in response to that, Connor, and the word is boom. Let's go, man. That's good stuff, and so true. I think just listening to this has truly blessed my heart. I just need y'all to know that in striving to be what you have been, Pat, it's inspiring to me to see that, man, I'm on the right track. Right.
Amen.
It's inspiring to see, Connor, the result of the work, and seeing, what's been invested in you, to see the result of that. And so, my goal is that I hope that everyone that watches or listens to this gets that same feeling, and know that, man, just stick to those core common values. Put your hands in the hand of the man, let him take care of you.
Right.
Let the big man take care of you, and everything else is going to work out. And so, guys, I just want to tell you again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on. I want to give you an opportunity to give your social media and where they can go follow you with your company and stuff too. So, they can show you, my followers can show you some love.
Yeah. Thanks, Chip. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah. Well, I'm on Instagram, Connor5Combs. Connor's with an E. And so that's where you can find us. We have some business stuff out there as well. Combs Capital Partners, just at Combs Capital Partners. We're on Instagram and LinkedIn. And those are the two main areas for me. Dad, I know you've got your own social as well.
Yeah. And of course, our website, if you want to give that address too, Connor.
Yep. Just combscp.com, www.combscp.com.
Yep. And then on Twitter, I'm Pat Combs21. So look for me there. And then, if you want a copy of the book, available Amazon, any major retailer, would love for you to order More Than the Score, and got some fun stories to share with you.
Well, there it is. Again, guys, I just want to say thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. Truly appreciate it. Had a good time, and I wish you guys continued success.
Thanks, Chip.
Blessings. Appreciate you, man.
Sir. And thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.